Welcome to Forthright. I'm Sulani Madsen, reading last week's column, inspired by attending the 2023 National Convention of an organization called Braver Angels, held in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania at Gettysburg College on the 160th anniversary of the famous Civil War battle, which occurred July 1st through 3rd, 1863. The column, originally published Thursday, July 13, 2023, in the Spokesman Review and headlined, "Keep a Civil Tongue in Your Head." Americans are hungry for a different kind of politics. Braver Angels, as an organization, is dedicated to feeding that appetite as influencers for a culture of civility instead of civil war. The quote, "We're trying to do something that has never been done, to build a movement based on disagreement," said John Wood Jr. to the delegates at the 2023 convention in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania last week. He emphasized the need to rebuild the political culture until it's, quote, "just normal to talk to people you disagree with because that's what it means to be an American," end quote. And more than just talking, which can readily devolve into an uncivil war of words, it's being able to disagree and continue in relationship. Gettysburg, as one of the most memorable battlefields of our near divorce as a country, was the perfect setting for imagining a renewal of our national vows. As one of nearly 700 Braver Angels in Gettysburg, I can affirm that we did not all agree. Americans never have. Delegate attendance was balanced by political viewpoint, every blue-leaning delegate balanced with a red-leaning one, plus a healthy contingent of independents. The red and blue lanyards bore no relation to the more superficial characteristics of race or gender often used to divide us. It was a gathering of people committed to real diversity of thought. There were robust debates on difficult topics, including gun control, abortion, immigration, racism, and election integrity. We challenged ourselves to think, speak, and listen with respect for the humanity of those we disagreed with, and to leave no lasting wounds. Utah's Governor Spencer Cox spoke at the Saturday plenary session, emphasizing the United States as the greatest nation in the world because it was founded on the radical idea of individual freedom. But our selfishness about rights requires a selflessness of responsibility. Cox, a Republican governor of a predominantly red state, pointed to his responsibility to make sure all voices are heard when difficult decisions are being made. He gave examples of approaching the hot culture wars by bringing together supporters of opposing positions to build personal connections. He reported the result has been more respectful dialogue and greater bipartisan support for policies that have been cannon fodder for outraged entrepreneurs in other states. He is launching an initiative called Healthy Conflict as the new chair of the National Governors Conference. "Continuing as we have been is unthinkable," he told the delegates, sitting comfortably where the unthinkable had happened. The battlefield, National Cemetery, and walking tours in the now quiet downtown all carried reminders of how deadly serious political disagreement can turn. It was impossible to avoid walking on bloody ground. Rebel footsteps on Yankee soil were unthinkable. While rumors of a Confederate push north had been swirling, no one really thought it would happen until it did. The Battle of Gettysburg is noteworthy for two things: Lincoln's brief remarks at the dedication of the National Cemetery, and Pickett's charge across an open field setting the high water mark of the Confederacy. Lee never made it that far north again. More than 157,000 U.S. and Confederate troops engaged over 3 days. The Army of Northern Virginia was in full retreat on July 3, 1863, after losing nearly a third of its company. There were more than 51,000 total casualties, overflowing churches and homes, with over 7,000 fatalities requiring burial. Human bones turned up in farmers' fields for decades, the last discovery in 1996. A key artillery position at Little Round Top was closed to tours this summer because a 160-year-old live shell was discovered in February. Houses bear signs saying Civil War House, some with placards describing their use as sniper posts or field hospitals. In one house, holes were drilled in the floorboards to let the blood from multiple amputations drain into the cellar. Is that too graphic? Politely whitewashing history isn't the memory we need today to avoid more loose talk of a national divorce. At the closing plenary session, John Wood Jr. told the delegates, We are a young country with the world's oldest written constitution, and we are hard on ourselves. We are the first durable, at least so far, multi-tribal country not held together by the authoritarian power of a dictator or a king. America was not founded on a shared language, culture, or religion. Our unity rests on the proposition that all of these matter less than a commitment to individual liberty. On the 75th anniversary of the battle, veterans from both North and South gathered in Gettysburg to dedicate the Eternal Light Peace Memorial with an inscription reading, "Peace eternal in a nation united." On the 160th anniversary, braver angels want everyone to know the difference between attacking a policy or an action and the dangerous rhetoric of personal attack. Our national unity requires a commitment to individual responsibility, starting with keeping a civil tongue in our heads. At the end of each column, there is a contact Sulani Madsen at rulingpen@gmail.com. This time I needed to add a disclaimer to say that I am a Braver Angels volunteer with the Central and Eastern Washington Alliance and serving as a state coordinator alongside my blue counterpart, Charmin Banu of the Western Washington Alliance. Cross-country travel brings a lot of opportunities to answer the questions, where are you going and why? And when I would say to Gettysburg for the Braver Angels National Convention, the next question was usually, what are the Braver Angels? My usual short answer: a national organization founded after the 2016 election to provide skill-building workshops and forums for healthy debate because we need to be able to talk to each other about difficult issues. And the usual spontaneous short response, oh, we really need that. We do. With so many forces seeking to build fear and barricades, with so much money being made off of creating fear and outrage, we need the skills and the courage to push past that fear and tear down the barricades. There are many reasons that people give for seeking out Braver Angels. For some, it's the loss of a many decades-long friendship over a difference in politics. As Susan, one of my suite mates in the dorms at Gettysburg College that week, said, her lifelong friend, maid of honor at her wedding, years of sharing the joys and demands of raising children, told her they couldn't be friends anymore because Susan voted for Trump. For others, it was family ties strained by the last two elections. Everyone was seeking some hope for a better way forward. The convention attendance was carefully curated to assure an even balance between red-leaning and blue-leaning delegates, and it was interesting to me how refreshing it was to know that here was a group of people who were committed to adulting politically, and they didn't all agree with me. My 13-year-old granddaughter attended with me. It was an opportunity for the kind of fun bonding that comes with shared travel, plus a few history, civics, and geography lessons from Grandma, occasionally received with an eye roll and a no, whatever. But on July 4th, the day before the convention started, we met Emily Jacobs, one of my blue-leaning co-chairs from the Central and Eastern Washington Alliance, in Baltimore for a street fair and Independence Day fireworks. The morning of July 5th, we went to the top of Baltimore's World Trade Center because Genevieve wanted to see a skyscraper, and then met Emily at the National Aquarium. Both the skyscraper and the aquarium are both from a long list of things she kept saying, we don't have one at home in Minot, North Dakota. She is from a red-leaning family in a red state and has a middle schooler's typical obliviousness to politics. She wanted to know on the first day why some delegates had blue lanyards and some had red lanyards. I told her generally the red lanyards were people who'd voted for Trump, the blue had voted for Biden. Ooh, who would vote for Biden, was her reaction. I pointed out that Emily had a blue lanyard. Oh, but we like Emily, she said. Yes, we like Emily because we know her as a person and not a label or a lanyard. We know that Emily wanted to study marine biology, but instead became a park ranger and loves to teach people about their history and about the natural world. We had a great time touring and talking and sharing our lives with Braver Angels from across the U.S. and across the political barricades, realizing we don't have to agree and never will on every detail of every policy or strategy for governing the country. But we do have to share the country. Braver Angels launched an initiative called Rise for America at the convention, a national movement to depolarize America and bring us together in respectful, productive dialogues. I committed to train as a debate chair so that we can host more and more debates, because it was a Braver Angels debate that first drew me to the organization. The format it's not win-lose. It's the format gets participants beyond talking points and lets all sides be heard respectfully. And sometimes surprising points of common ground arise that could lead to both and instead of either or solutions. The format also clarifies where there is real disagreement. That will take hard work to figure out a common way forward. It all works if more citizens rise for America, a united America, like the veterans gathered at the 75th anniversary of the Battle of Gettysburg wished for us, their descendants. So thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe, free or with a pledge, for notification of new content on Substack. Send ideas for future columns, commentaries, or interviews to me at the address listed, and I will see what I can do. And I encourage you to check out braverangels.org and the Braver Angels YouTube channel for more content on robust debate. And as we rapidly enter the 2024 presidential election cycle, really try to keep a civil tongue in your head. I'll be trying. Feel free to call me on it when I fail.